Yes, sir, you're live.
Sir, Facebook Live started.
Yes.
Sir, the Facebook Live started.
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes.
Good afternoon, one and all. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome all of you in the webinar series Summer 2021. Today is our fourth webinar series lecture, and I would like to welcome our today's guest speaker, Mr. Rahul Nahere, and I would like to request our principal, Mr. Somani sir, to please welcome our today's guest and start with your welcome speech.
Yeah, so good afternoon, one and all present on this platform today. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome each one on this particular day for the Summer Webinar Series 2021. As usual, D.Y. Patil University School of Pharmacy in Navi Mumbai has come up with this particular idea or unique idea, I should say, for the students who wish to understand what is pharmacy profession, what are the career opportunities in pharmacy, and how this profession is going to change in near future. And that's why as per our every year's policy, we are inviting eminent speakers on this platform who share their knowledge, experience, and expertise in the field of pharmaceutical research, education, and other professional activities. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Rahul Nahere today on this platform, who was our guest speaker for in the previous year also, and his speech or his particular lecture was very informative, and that's why we felt that we should invite him this year as well. My dear students and all those who are watching on the social media, Facebook and other platform, I'm sure that this particular session is really helpful for you to plan the career opportunities in pharmacy abroad, and also it will be helpful to give us some insight regarding the same. And so I go ahead and request Mr. Praveen Jagtap to please introduce Mr. Rahul Nahere. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So today it's yet another great opportunity that Dr. Rahul Nahere is again on our platform to guide and mentor regarding the abroad education. So we have a third webinar on study and career opportunity in USA and abroad in pharmacy. So Dr. Rahul Nahere, let me introduce about him. So he is a director of 5 labs already at USA. Currently, he is a founder and CEO of Rajdeep Abroad Study Education. He did his PhD from North Dakota, MS from Naipur, Hyderabad. He has worked as a research associate, technical supervisor, clinical consultant, technical consultant, associate director, lead toxicologist, sorry, research assistant, etc. He is an editorial member of journals like Journal of Clinical Toxicology, Edorium, Journal of Forensic Sciences, Clinical Pharmacology and Toxicology, Research Pulses Publisher, Journal of Pharma and Pharma Sciences, Asian Journal of Pharma and Clinical Research. He has a 2 patent in method of determination of total homocysteine and nanoparticles for delivery of capsulated content and method of use. He has more than 14 peer-reviewed paper research publication in his credit. He has certain awards, Darley and Clare Shaw Graduate Research Scholarship in 2013, Gordon Research Conference Travel Grant, he got awarded in 2013, also a research fellowship during his MS. He has attended many conferences and presented his paper. During last 1 year, as I mentioned, he has founded his own institute in order to mentor a student who are willing to go abroad. He has delivered more than 25 webinars during this last 1 year. So I request Dr. Rahul Nahere to take over and guide the students. Thank you.
First of all, thank you. Thank you, Jagtap sir, for the introduction. And some of you might not know, Jagtap sir and me, we did our B Farm together from MVP College of Pharmacy in Nasik. And thank you, Dr. Somani, and thank you, Patil sir, for kind introduction. And it's always a pleasure talking to pharmacy students and share our experience and whatever we have, little bit of career we have, just guide them. So I will share my slides, and then I will start my talk. So are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so like Jagtap sir said, so I did my B.Pharm from NWP College of Pharmacy in 2007. And in 2009, I did my MS from Naipur, Hyderabad in pharmaceutical analysis. And in 2010, I joined North Dakota State University for my PhD in pharmaceutical sciences. And I started the dream of studying abroad or going abroad for PhD. I always had it, in my second year of B.Pharm itself. And at that time in 2005, 2006, when internet was not in our hands, and it was very difficult to get a high-speed internet at that time. So the information was not available as readily as it is now. But at that time, I wanted to start, and I started in 2005, 2006, but I came in United States in 2010. So it took me some time, the reason I'm telling you right away in the beginning of my talk is because that, everything, if you want to achieve something, you need to, pursue it. You need to be determined about it. And at that time, a lot of students were targeting for GATE and, for MBA entrances. There were only a couple of us, a couple of my friends, we were targeting GRE. And at that time, we were feeling kind of odd, that, okay, are we doing something wrong, because nobody else is preparing? Is this something we should not be doing? And we all, 3 friends are now in United States. We came one after another, but we did land in USA, which we wanted. So the purpose of me telling this is, if you decide, and if you decide that you want to do something, no matter what, it can be achieved. And it's been more than 10 years now. I'm in United States. I finished my PhD in 2014. It's been almost 7 hours. I'm working in the field of clinical diagnostic. And during this period, a lot of students reached out to me and talking to me and asking questions. Everybody has, whoever is, thinking of studying abroad, having a career abroad, they always have a doubt, either it's, whether they can do it, whether it is how difficult it is. And another most important aspect is, finance, money, how expensive it is. And coming from a middle class family, I know, how important that decision is. For education, although our parents are always supportive, but they can support only to an extent. And we always know that only rich kids go to United States. Middle class, lower middle class students, it's unachievable dream. And I wanted to tell all the students, who are capable, but they don't think of, different opportunities in the field of pharmacy, only because they think that it's not financially viable and it's not possible, and it's too difficult. And I wanted to give confidence to them. And with that thought, recently I started this study abroad consultancy, where I help the students, with their dream. If they want to go abroad for studies in US or Canada or Europe, any other country, what you need to do, and how you can shape your career here, and how can you prepare yourself towards that goal. So with that thought, especially students from middle class, from B towns, where they lack confidence, because of maybe, sometimes English, we think that our English is not that good. Sometimes we think our finance, we don't have much money to go abroad. But those are not the hurdles, real hurdles. And with that thought, I started the consultancy and wanted to help the students. So coming to pharmacy, so I believe most of the students who are attending right now are B.Pharm students, like we have our 4-year degree. And when we did our pharmacy, I know at that time, pharmacy meant only drugstore, pharmacy meant only medical store. And the common people, they didn't know what the scope of pharmacy. They didn't know the word pharmaceutical sciences, right? So whenever we used to tell them, okay, you are doing pharmacy, they used to think that, okay, either we are gonna do our, job in some pharma store, or we are gonna start your own medical store. But I know there must be some first-year students attending right now, second-year students attending. I want to tell them, it's a vast field, pharmacy. And now thanks to COVID, that now everybody knows the importance of pharmaceutical sciences, importance of clinical trials, importance of clinical pharmacist. So the first, second year, we always think, what we are gonna do, what we want to do after B.Pharm, what are we gonna do, go for higher studies, are we gonna do masters, or are we gonna start our own business? And we always think that pharmacy is just, drugstore, medical store, tablets and capsule. But I want to tell you that, it's not that. Pharmacy has a huge scope in pharma industry, pharmaceutical research, and there are many disciplines which are related to pharmaceutical science, where you can, where you can go, you can branch out into those fields, like molecular biology or biochemistry, drug design, regulatory affairs. There are so many different fields you can go into, and it's not just a pharmacy, and it's not just a drugstore. When I finished my PhD, my PhD in pharmaceutical sciences. Of course, I did my research was mostly related to drug delivery system, and there was a lot of analytical methods used. And I did my master's in pharmaceutical analysis as well. And at that time, when I finished my PhD and I started applying for jobs, I saw that there is a field, there are a lot of fields where we can apply. When I was finding a job in pharmaceutical analysis, I was typing LC-MS/MS, UV spectroscopy, or IR spectroscopy. All those keywords I was putting in, and I started getting jobs from companies like Apple and Coke and paint industry. Then I realized that, if I have a pharmaceutical analysis, analytical instrument, that experience, that knowledge, I can apply to these companies also. And where I actually did some interviews also. And I started getting interviews in the clinical diagnostic field also. Like, it's a really big field in United States. And also now we know that in India also, a lot of these COVID tests are getting done in clinical labs. Those clinical labs also need people like us, because there are companies like Beckman, Siemens, Abbott, all these clinical diagnostic companies. They need to do research, they need to develop assays, they need to do method development for the different biomarkers. There'll be ELISA assays, there'll be analyzer assays, there'll be LC-MS/MS assays. So I found out that only after my PhD, that we can also branch out into this kind of field. I didn't know that I can do my career in clinical diagnostic field. So what I wanted to say is, we always restrict ourselves, okay, I did my B.Pharm, okay, I have to do PhD in pharmaceutical science only. No, I have to do jobs in pharmaceutical industry only. No, you just have to find out the scope of our field. You need to talk to your seniors, what they are doing. You need to, go on LinkedIn and find out what other like seniors like me or some seniors from your college, what they are doing, what different field they are achieving their career in. So this is really important to start thinking about fields which are related to pharmaceutical sciences. So as I mentioned, there are different fields where you can have your career in United States and in most of the Western countries. The most popular ones I posted here, like the PharmD, pharmaceutical sciences, clinical diagnostic, clinical pharmacology, toxicology, pharmacoeconomics, public health administration, and all these are related to pharmaceutical sciences, pharmacy. When I say pharmacy here in United States, in Western world, it's very different from what we think in India. They call it PharmD. India also, I think they have now PharmD courses. But when we say PharmD, it's only role restricted to dispensing medicine. But here in Western countries, when someone is a pharmacist, they have a very significant role in, prescribing the drug, deciding the dosage, giving information to the patient. So it's one of the most respected and well-paid job in United States. And in India, it's not that well paid compared to any other field or compared to any other job in pharmaceutical sciences itself. So PharmD in India, pharmacist in India and pharmacist here are completely different. Then another fields are like, toxicology, pharmacoeconomics, public health administration. Some of these we don't know much during our B.Pharm. And I want to tell you that, like when you do your master's in pharmacology, toxicology, there are a lot of jobs in that field, toxicology or regulatory toxicology. There are a lot of jobs in that field also. And when I'm talking to you, I'm talking mostly about the job situation abroad or opportunities for pharmacy graduate abroad. So why someone should think of going abroad for their higher studies? And as I said, after your B.Pharm, you might do MBA, you might want to do master's, MS in pharmaceutical sciences, or you want to start your own business. Different students will have different plan. But whatever you are doing, I would strongly recommend that you go for higher studies. And sometimes we think, sometimes after B.Pharm or even after M.Pharm, when we get a job, we think that, that, okay, I got a job, I'm getting a good salary, why to, go for higher studies or why to go for PhD, who will study for 4 years and all. But I'm telling you, in the long run, it always helps. And I have seen people regretting their decision after, after doing job for 7-8 years, when they go into the industry or when even into academics, when it comes to the promotion, when it comes to the increment, your degree matters, your experience matters, both matter equally. So I strongly recommend all of you, if you are a B.Pharm student, think of going for a higher studies. And why you should go abroad is, again, so the ease of admission. So why I say ease of admission is, it's not like you apply and you get an admission. So when you are giving GPAT, your entrance exam for masters, there are a lot of students competing for it. But when you are trying to come abroad, there are very few students from India starting. And the good thing about that is, in US, a lot of students, they do their undergrad, their B.Pharm, or whatever their bachelor's degree, but they want to start earning money right away. It's a very individualistic society. They don't want to depend on their parents. So nobody, or not nobody, but very few people or very few Americans, they try to go for higher studies, like master's or PhD. So here in universities, for their courses, for their academics, for their research, they want students. And so getting admission, if you have a good profile, is much easier compared to getting admission into a good university or a good institute in India. And again, there are a limited number of seats and there are more people targeting for that. So I would say, the ease of admission is much more if you are applying abroad for your higher studies. Then wide range of degrees and courses. The good thing about United States especially, and Western countries, there's a lot of interdisciplinary research goes on, and when you come here for your master's or your PhD, there are certain courses which are compulsory, of course, but a lot of courses you are elective, you can choose. So even if I'm doing my research in drug delivery, I can still choose courses which are related to pharmaceutical analysis, because I want to do my job in analytical side of the industry. It's not like, okay, these are 6 subjects and you have to take these 6 subjects. So this flexibility for the students to choose the subjects of their choice is really important, so that you can change those subjects according to your interest, and you are not forced to take something on because you are doing your masters in that particular field, which I really liked. And the opportunities, resources, the most important thing about research is money, right? Funding. And when you do your masters and PhD, if you don't have enough funding, if you don't have resources, it's very difficult to carry out a good research, good quality research, and get a good publications. And in Western countries, where they have already taken care of their basic needs, food, shelter, and other basic needs, infrastructure, they can now afford to spend in all the research work, unlike developing countries like us, where we are still trying to help people, trying to get our infrastructure in place. We cannot afford as much money as these Western countries are putting into research. So there is a good amount of research going on, and the primary reason for that is, the funding the universities, the professors have. And of course, the quality of education, no doubt, in India there are a lot of institutes providing quality of education, but I would speak for United States. Even the middle rank or low rank university also have really decent quality of education, and you can guarantee that uh, you will learn something. You will learn differently, and that's on the professional side of the thing. But at the same time, when you go abroad, when you leave your place, your hometown, when you meet new people, new culture, new language, new food, your experiences get broader in your life. Your perspective of life gets wider and better, and you get enriched. Your personality get enriched as an individual. So I highly recommend, like if you are from Mumbai, don't stay in Mumbai, go somewhere else. Even if you are doing it in India, go to southern part of India. If you are from southern part of India, go to northern part. So try to go away from where you are, try to meet new people. And it's a human history. If you study a little bit of anthropology, you see that human beings have always evolved and done better when they left their place. When they travel, human beings were always wanderers and travelers. So I would highly recommend you to go abroad. Try to go abroad, or try to go away from where you are. I did my B.Pharm in Nasik, I did my master's in Hyderabad, southern, and then I came here for my PhD, and it definitely widened my view as a human being. And it really helped my develop my personality, my perspective towards life and other people. And in terms of job, like if you want to do job and not start business on your own, it's a 9 to 5 job, right? So whether you do it in India or US, it doesn't matter. So my take on that is, if you want to do a job, 9 to 5 job, why not do it in US, or why not do in some other country where you can earn more money? You can earn in dollars. So, and again, work culture is different. Again, these are developed countries, so they don't have to work hard as much as we do in India or any other developing countries. So the work-life balance, the work culture is much better. So these are some of the reasons why you should try to come abroad, for your studies, for for your higher education. And but there are different countries you can go to, right? Of course, you can choose. There are so many countries you can go to, but then why USA? And of course, because I'm in USA, I'm a little bit biased towards USA. There is a reason I like this country, but people do prefer going to Australia and Canada, especially Canada these days popular because the immigration policy there is really good. You know, if you have good experience, if you have good IELTS score, if you are young, if you have higher degree, you will get immigration really fast. You know, you will get the green card, we call it, really fast. And so that's why these days Canada is really popular. But the reason I like USA, and especially for higher studies, is because of the work permit they give. So when you come here in United States for your PhD or for your master's, after finishing your degree, you get a 3 years of work permit, which no other country provides unless you have a job in hand. So most of the other countries, especially Europe, there you need to find a job first, then you get a work permit. In United States, you automatically get a work permit for 3 years, which they call it OPT, which is optional practical training. So it's not like you get your degree and go back to your country and again struggle finding a job. And it really helps. So some people want to stay here in United States for their life or for their career, whatever it is. But even if you want to come back to India, you can still work here for at least a couple of years, get a good solid experience, and then go back to India. And these 3 years are really crucial. You finish your degree, work here for 3 years, get a good work experience, earn some money, and then probably go back to India and start your business, something like that. So this is what I really like about United States, the work experience, the work permit you get after your higher education. And one thing about getting PhD in United States is opportunity for PR. PR means permanent residency, which is again green card. If you have a PhD, you get green card within a couple of years. And if you have, it's very difficult to get green card otherwise in United States for any other, like if you have just bachelor's degree or just master's degree, it takes 15, 20 years. But if you have a PhD, you get green card within 2 years. So you can stay in United States as long as you want. You don't have to take the citizenship of United States. You can go back to India anytime. But once you have a green card, you don't need a visa and you can stay in United States as long as you want. So how do you prepare for that, right? Suppose you decided you want to go abroad for your higher studies, for your PhD, for your master's. Of course, you need a planning. And any dream without planning is just a dream, they call it. So start planning. So no matter which year you are in, so I will talk about these 4 years because I know a lot of students are BPharm students. So I'll just give you a plan, like first year you spend understanding your field, pharmacy field, what it is exactly, what is the scope of the pharmacy, talking to your faculty, talking to your seniors, understand your field first in the first year. In second year, decide what you want to do. You want to go for MBA or you want to go for master's or you want to start your own business, whatever it is. But in second year, you should start thinking. And in the third year, you need to start preparing for those exams or whatever that your goal is. If you're going for MBA, start preparing for GPAT or GMAT, those entrance exams. And if you want to go abroad, start preparing for GRE or TOEFL or IELTS, these exams. And final year, you actually execute your plans. You give those exams, you apply, you send your applications, and achieve your goal. So this is really important. So even if you are in third year or final year, it's not late. You can still start preparing where you are. You just have to modify your plan, make a individual plan. Don't just copy your friends. Just because your friend is gonna do MS in pharmaceutics, don't go for pharmaceutics. Read about that subject. That subject, you're gonna do that for your life. So make sure that you like that thing. Just because someone said that if you do your MBA, you're gonna get more money, don't do it. Only you think if you have managerial skills, if you have aptitude for that, then only go for MBA. Just don't blindly follow somebody. Even just because I'm telling you to go abroad, don't start preparing GRE from tomorrow. Think on your own and plan your next couple of years and what you want to do after your graduation. So if you decide if you want to go abroad, what you need to do, you need to build your profile. And there are two aspects for your profile, especially for going abroad. First is English and second is your research profile. So English, of course, mathematics you can improve, by practicing. But language, especially English, it's not something like you do practice for 6 months and you will get really good at it. It takes time, it takes a year or two, a continuing efforts, then only your English improves. And how do you improve that? You read novels, you read newspapers, you keep talking in English, you watch movies, you keep practicing, writing, talking and all that. Then only you will improve your English. And fortunately or unfortunately, the language of the world is English now. So even in India, if you go to industry, if you go to academics, there is no way but to speak in English. So whatever your goal is, even if you don't want to go abroad, it's really important that you improve your English, your speaking English, communication, your writing English, it's really important for your career. It doesn't matter whether you want to study abroad, you want to give these exams or not. Second is your research profile. So if you want to apply for masters or especially PhD, it's really important for you to have a good CV. And some of you might ask, like if you are in B Farm, how can we improve our, research profile? We don't do much research in B Farm. But what I would suggest to you, take on some research project. Talk to your faculty, someone like Somani sir, Jagtap sir, Patil sir. They can help you to do some kind of research within whatever your resources are available. You don't have to do actual research. You can write review articles. There are a lot of free research articles available. You can compile those articles, write your own perspective, send it to your faculty, get their feedback, and publish it in some decent journal. You don't have to publish in really big impact factor journal. Even if it's decent journal, what you need to show it, like why I'm saying is that when you apply the application process, I'm gonna explain a little bit. But somebody is sitting in United States, looking at your profile, he's gonna judge you whether you are a good researcher or not, and that only can be proven through your CV, your research projects, your published articles. Then only they can believe that you can do research for that particular professor. So if you just say that you want to do research in drug delivery and you're really interested, you're enthusiastic, nobody is going to believe you unless you have something done in that, in that particular topic. So what I would suggest, try to publish articles, whatever journal possible, whatever review article or research article. Try to attend conferences, try to do certification courses, do presentations, podia presentations, poster presentations in different conferences, involve in co-curricular and leadership activities. That's also really important aspect of your profile. So, and these two things, like improving on your English or your research profile, it's always better you start early. No matter what year you are in right now, start working towards these two things, and it's really gonna help you in future. I'm telling you, whatever your goal is, if you work on that, then it's gonna help you. So if you decide you want to go abroad, especially United States, for your master's or PhD, you need to give 2 exams. There is a GRE and there is a TOEFL. So GRE is a graduate record examination, which is an aptitude test. Means it tests your intelligence, it tests your critical thinking about a topic. Whereas TOEFL is an English proficiency test. It just tests your proficiency, whether you are able to speak, read, understand English properly or not. It's not an aptitude test. And there is another test, IELTS, which is like a TOEFL, but it's accepted in different countries. Both are similar. So graduate record examination has different sections. There is a verbal section, which has English in it. There is a quantitative section, which has mathematics in it. There is an analytical writing section, where you write about topics. These 3 sections are there in GRE. And the score of this exam is valid for 5 years. So even if you give exam, you get a good score, but for some reason, either you didn't apply or you didn't get admission, you can still use that score for 5 years. So that's good. So you don't have to give that exam again if you decide after a couple of years to go abroad. Sometimes, students, they want to take a gap, earn some money, and then probably apply, then still you will have your score valid. But TOEFL score is only valid for 2 years. TOEFL, IELTS, these scores are not valid more than 2 years. And it has reading, listening, speaking, and writing, these 4 sections. And they just test whether you will be able to understand English, whether you will be able to communicate with somebody in the campus when you come here for PhD, for your master's. And that's the only purpose. And these 2 scores, GRE score, TOEFL score, is really important. It's one of the most important aspect of you getting admission, you getting scholarship for your higher degree. So start, and that's why I'm saying, like TOEFL also is English, and GRE also there is English. So it's very important for you to improve upon your English. So how the application process works, like so first of all, do you want to go for MS or PhD? And a lot of you are doing BPharm, and the question always comes, can I do PhD directly after BPharm? So answer is yes. And especially in United States and Western countries, it's very common to do PhD directly after BPharm. And a lot of students ask, whether, like how come they give admission without master's degree, or is it gonna create problem after finishing that? Somebody will ask me, why you didn't do master's? So do not worry, it's very common. But again, if you want to go for PhD directly after BPharm, you have to have a good research profile. See, suppose and PhD admissions are done by faculty. The faculty, the professor, they choose you. It's not like university will decide and they will have cutoff or something like that. Of course, there is a cutoff, minimum cutoff for GRE and TOEFL. You have to clear that. But once the applications are selected, shortlisted, is the faculty, is the professor who decides, which student they want to pick. And when the professors look at your profile for the PhD, they will look at your CV and they want to make sure that you are a good researcher, and your intention, how interested, how passionate you are towards the research, and that only be proven through your CV, through your articles, through your research experience. So it's possible that, you can directly do PhD without wasting 2 years in between and get your PhD degree. So that's quite possible. But of course, like if you don't want to do PhD for 4 years and you don't have patience for that, you just want to do masters, then of course you can apply for MS. Then of course you need to have GRE and TOEFL. You need to build your profile, as I said. They need to start communicating with the professors. As I said, like for PhD, the admission mostly depends on the professor. You need to communicate with the faculty, professor, tell them your research interest, why you want to join their lab, why you want to do research in drug delivery, why you want to go into cancer therapeutics, why you want to go into the formulation, why you want to do nanoparticles. Whatever your research field is, you want to communicate with them, send them emails, send them CV, and ask them if you have any chances with your profile, with your GRE score. And admissions in United States happen 3 times, fall, spring, and summer. Those are seasons here. Fall is August admissions, which are our regular academic year in India also. And most of the 90% of the admissions happen in fall semester. And applications go sometime in December of the previous year. So for example, if you want to target next year, August, August 2022, your application should go sometime in December and January, December of this year, 2021, and January 2022. So like around 6 to 8 months before actual starting the academic year. So you need to plan your GRE TOEFL exams. You need to plan all other things accordingly. Then comes the selection of universities. So this is one of the important aspects. You cannot just apply anywhere. Just because you like that university, just because you like New York, you cannot apply in universities in New York. So you need to find out, which universities are good for your profile, your score, where your chances are good. You need to do little bit of research before actually applying to those universities. So that research is mostly communicating with someone like me who is already abroad, who already have experience, or communicating with the professors there and asking them that, whether you can join their lab, and talking to the students in their lab, talking to your seniors. If your seniors who are already abroad doing their PhD, talking to them and ask them if their university, their department has any funding and are they going to take any students. So randomly applying to universities is not going to get you admission. So it's really important for you to do some research for universities, where you want to apply, so that your chances of getting admission and scholarship, scholarship or stipend or assistantship, they call it, that gets increased. And for that, this research, research of universities is really, really important. Another aspect of application is SOP and recommendations. SOP is statement of purpose. RECOs are recommendation letters. Statement of purpose is nothing but why you want to do PhD, why you want to do masters in particular field or in particular university. So you have to talk about your past little bit, what you are doing right now and what you want to do in future. And it's really important, especially in PhD, because you're focusing on a particular research area. So you want to convince that professor that why you want to do research in that particular field. And recommendation letters are nothing but reference letters from your faculties. Someone like Dr. Somani, you need his recommendation letter stating that you're a good student. You will be an asset to that lab. You will do good in your research. So these recommendation letters from your faculty are really important, that they are talking good about you as a student, as a researcher, and as a human being. So the recommendation letters. So make sure that even if you graduate, even if you do start doing your masters, make sure you are in communication, make sure you are in good relationship with your professors. They're gonna write for you, and their recommendation letters matter a lot. And then of course you start getting admissions and rejections sometime around March, April, May, in those months. But again, if you get a rejection, that doesn't mean that your profile is not good, or that doesn't mean that you don't deserve admission. It's just that you didn't apply to a right university. Your applications get rejected mostly because either your GRE score is low, or maybe there is not enough funding, or you applied to a department where they are not taking any students that year, they already have students. So the selection of university again is really, really important to increase your chances of getting admission. Whether that department has funding, whether that professor has funding, that information you need to have. Then your admission chances are increased. And then comes the visa process. And visa again is not difficult, like people always get scared of visa process, but I'm telling you, if you get admission into a good university, a public university, means government university, they call it public or state university here, you will not have any issues, especially in PhD, where you get full funding with tuition waiver. So that one difference between masters and PhD is, if you want to go for masters, there is a chance that you might not get a funding for first semester. So you have to gather your funding, and that can be a crucial aspect of your visa process. But if you are doing PhD, you either get an admission with full funding or they reject you right away. And the reason for that is, PhD is a longer commitment. They don't want somebody to come to United States from India, on their own expense. It's not gonna work, it's too expensive. So masters and PhD has that difference when it comes to money, when it's come to the funding or scholarship. So when it's come to the job, as I told you, there are not a lot of Americans that do masters and PhD in United States, and there are very few. And here we come, we Indians and Chinese, we are always hardworking, we are always smart people, and they need people to carry their research forward, and one advantage we Indians have over any other country, especially China, is that our communication skill, our interpersonal skills, we are always confident, we are always better in English, again, it's relative, but I'm telling you, so that's really advantageous, and that makes these professors in United States and Western countries, they always look for Indian students. And because we are hardworking, because we are smart, we always have good chances of getting admission into these countries. And also coming to the job, same thing applies. As I said, after PhD and after masters, you get OPT, which is on the F1 visa. When you come here as a student, you are on F1 visa, F for Fox. That you get an OPT for 3 years. But if you want to stay here in United States, even after OPT, you need to get an H1 visa. So H1 visa is actual work visa. And that is employer sponsored. So if you want to do job in United States, the employer needs to sponsor your visa so that you can work in United States. So a lot of students, they ask me whether they can come directly from India to US for a job. And again, it is possible, there are some of my friends, they did come directly here for their job, but it's very, very rare. Because people usually hear, these IT professionals, especially computer and IT people, they come to United States directly from the job. But again, I'm telling you, it's not that rampant in our field, in pharma field. It's very rare. So if you want to do job in United States, the best way is to come here for studies. And you automatically get OPT, work permit, and then you can file for H1. So it's very easy. It's very difficult for someone in employer in United States, sponsoring visa of someone sitting in India, and they're not sure about that person. But when you are here, you already have an experience of working in United States, you already have a degree from US university. So the employer is much more confident about you, giving you job. So it's very important for you to come here for higher studies and try to get a job. It's much easier compared to getting a job directly from India. Again, I'm coming to the green card. I don't want to talk much about green card, but again, I'm telling you, if you have a PhD, getting green card is really, really easy. So talking from my own personal experience, if you have higher degree, especially PhD, it's much easier. So if you want to stay in United States forever, it's also very easy. And again, like if you come in United States, that doesn't mean you have to stay here for your life. If you have other dreams. If you want to go back India and start your own business or start your something on your own, it's always possible. You can always leave this country, get some good education, get some good experience, and I'll go back and do whatever your goal is. So again, towards the end of the my presentation, I just want to say, nothing comes easy. As I said, I started sometime in 2005, and I landed in United States sometime in 2010. So it took me around 3 to 4 years to achieve my dreams, and that's what I want to say, that if you really want to do something, not just studying abroad, anything, you have to work hard, and you have to keep your goals always dreaming of your goals, and work towards it. Have a long-term plan, not just short-term plans, what you want to do in your career, what you want to do after M.Pharm. So always keep thinking about that, and always keep planning, and try to implement that plan, and customize your plan, customize individual plan. Again, as I mentioned, don't do something only because someone told you. Just because your senior told you that there are a lot of jobs in pharmaceutics. When I was doing B.Pharm, everyone wanted to do masters in Sutics, because we mostly generic companies, they do formulations, and it's mostly Sutics work. There are a lot of jobs in Sutics, which I understand. That's why everybody wanted to do pharmaceutics. But there are a lot of other fields also, and if you are really good, you are knowledgeable, you are skilled in your field, if you do really good in interview, there are a lot of jobs for you in India and also abroad. So don't follow the crowd, find out what you want to do, what you like, and work towards that. And if you like something, you will be good at it, and if you're good at it, you will excel in that field. That's what I believe in. So I just want to conclude my presentation with this. And again, as I mentioned, I started this consultancy, and with this thought in mind that most of the middle class student like me, we always have that inferiority complex. In Marathi we call Nyunganda, that we are not good at English and we don't have enough money to go abroad, and only it's rich people and rich kids can go. That's not the case. If you are talented, if you're smart, if you have a plan, and if you have a willingness to put some time and some money, you can achieve your dream. And with this thought, I wanted to help and give confidence to students, and I started this consultancy. And if you have any questions, concerns, you can always contact me. This is me, my wife Varsha. We both serve as a consultant. We help students. We have our office manager and consultant Nidhi. She's on this call right now. And these are our international advisors. They help, like in Australia, in Canada, Europe, they have experience out there. Some of them are abroad. So if you have any questions, we can directly talk to them and ask them questions about the education system there, about the requirements there, advantages and disadvantages of going to that particular country. So with that, I would like to thank all of you for patiently listening to me. I would like to thank Sadakat sir for taking care of the technical stuff. Umesh Patil sir, Jagtap sir, and especially Somani sir for inviting me again this year. And it's always pleasure and talking to pharmacy students and helping them, and just sharing my personal experience. So if you have any questions, any concerns regarding study abroad, regarding United States, job here, education here, feel free to reach out to me. I shared my contact in the chat section. You can add me and ask me any questions you have. Again, thank you so much, and hope you guys stay safe, wear a mask, and take care of yourself and your family. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Students, anyone is having any questions? Please drop. Please drop your question in chat box. Students or participants, if anyone is having any question, please drop in chat
Thank you,
box.
Yes.
No questions?
Yeah, thank you, Rahul. It was really nice webinar and much improved, I would say, much professional and very nice webinar to orient regarding the abroad education. Actually, I got some questions in my chat box. Which courses after M-Pharmacy faculty can apply and get a good returns and satisfied life? So this is one of the question which I got from the MU faculty.
So what is the question again? I didn't understand. After MS?
Which is a course after M-Pharmacy so that faculty can apply and can get a good returns and satisfied life.
I mean, if you're thinking of, going into academics, I would strongly recommend go for PhD and then postdoc here in United States. If you already have MS, go for PhD, either in India or in United States, but you have to do postdoc, and as a faculty or if you want to have a career in academics, you need to have postdoc, you need to have really, really good publication. So you can come here in United States. And again, one good thing about, if you already have PhD in United States or any other country, you don't have to do any exam. There is no entrance, there is no TOEFL. I mean, TOEFL requirement is there, but there is no GRE or any other aptitude test you need to give. You just have to email the professor. And I think sometimes they don't ask for TOEFL also. It's very easy to get a postdoc. So if you are a faculty and if you want to come here, you want to join here as a faculty, you have to come here for a postdoc, work here for at least a couple of years, get some publications experience, and then you can have a good career. Yeah.
There is another question that due to this COVID situation, was there any relaxation for entrance examinations in some of the universities?
Yes. So again, because of the COVID, a lot of countries have locked down, and a lot of students they don't have access to computers at home, and they have to go to a center for exams, so they cannot go, especially developing countries and poor countries, all over the world. So what they did is, a lot of these universities, they have waived GRE for most of the universities. They have waived. Waived means you don't have to give GRE, it's not mandatory. But most likely from next year onwards, they will ask GRE again. Again, still there are some universities, they are still saying that you don't have to give GRE. They just need TOEFL exam, TOEFL or IELTS. And TOEFL and IELTS, you can give it from your home. You can stay at home and give that exam. But GRE, you need not to give. So yes, there is a relaxation. A lot of universities are accepting applications without any GRE score. So that is one advantage you have because of the COVID, if you're applying abroad this year. Yeah.
So there is one question from students. Which country is best to do nuclear pharmacy? Which country is best to do nuclear pharmacy?
So see, nuclear pharmacy is very niche field, like it's a pharmacy and there is a nuclear pharmacy field. There is no specific country as such, I would say, but any Western country is good. But again, you need to find out what are the requirements for being a pharmacist. It's not easy. So previously, till 2003 or 4, having just a B Pharm in India was enough for you to get registered as a pharmacist here in United States. You just have to give an entrance exam. But right now, it's not like that. They don't allow just B Pharm. So you need to find out, like if you're targeting different countries, you need to find out first what are the requirements there, to be a pharmacist. And mostly there will be some residency you need to do, some courses you need to do, and entrance exam you need to do, and then you can be a pharmacist. And then question comes, how can you go into the nuclear pharmacy? Then when you do residency means internship. You need to do internship, just like doctors, they need to do internships, right? Like in different places, they need to do in like remote areas, like villages and all. Same thing here in United States, you have to do it. There you need to choose where you want to do, and then you can choose you want to do internship in nuclear pharmacy, and then you can target your job accordingly. But again, there is not like a country where there is a scope for nuclear pharmacy. Nuclear pharmacy is there in all Western countries. It's very popular. It's a well-paid job. You get a lot of money. But again, it's a niche. So you need to target and find out where those courses are available and how you can go there. Yeah.
Sir, I have one question actually. Sir, this Rajdeep Study Board is for all means for all the fields, or only for pharmaceutical fields?
No. It's for everybody. It's everybody. So because I'm pharmacy, I talk a lot about pharmacy. I know about pharmacy, but requirements for any higher degree in United States or any other country are similar. Whether you want to do masters in mechanical engineering or you want to do in pharmacy, the requirements are same. Requirements doesn't change. Same for PhD also. Requirements are still same. Nothing changes. So it doesn't matter. It's just the field of it's just where you are applying that matters. Yeah.
Sir, one more question. Sir, do we have management courses in pharmacy in abroad?
Yes, they do. And there are a lot of so there are two aspects in management. If you want to do MBA here in United States, it's really expensive, because the management doesn't, if you do go for management, it doesn't come under the STEM program they have. It doesn't get funded. So if you want to target management, don't go for MBA, go for MS in management. So it's a different thing. Okay. So MBA is Masters of Business Administration, and MS in management is different. When you do MS in management, it comes under science field, it comes under the STEM field. So you can get funding, you can get a tuition waiver, it will be much less expensive compared to doing MBA. So if you want to go for MBA, do not come to United States, do not go to any Western countries, try to do in India only, because it's really expensive. You don't get funding unless you are really rich. But try to do MS, and there are a lot of pharma MBA courses. There is a field called pharmacoeconomics also, which is kind of pharma MBA, not exactly MBA, but it is something like what you would like to do if you have interest in management and if you are interested in something other than research, other than academics or research. Yeah.
So there is one question, sir. Which country would you recommend over other than US?
Yeah. So my personal favorite is Canada. So the Canada, for the reason is, a lot of reasons. Canada is really friendly to the immigrants. There are a lot of Indians, and as you know, Punjabis, a lot of Punjabis are there. So they're really nice about that. They're really friendly. Second is their immigration policy is good. It's a point system. Like if you have higher degree, if you have IELTS score, if you have good work experience, then it's very easy for you to immigrate there. You can get a green card very easily. Third thing is, their health insurance and all, it's very cheap there. It's really good. Their infrastructure is really good. And third, of course, is, the quality of education, the quality of resources, the amount of funding you get for your project. So if not USA, I would recommend Canada. And if not Canada, I would recommend Australia. So I don't recommend Europe, because getting job in Europe is difficult. Although, a lot of people get enticed by the Europe is because the beauty. They see their students, like fellow students or fellow friends, they go there, they put a lot of beautiful pictures there and all. But I'm telling you, like with my personal experience, my friends, my seniors, they all have to leave Europe. They do PhD there, they have to come here United States for postdoc. Or some people, they have to go back to India and try to find a job. So there are people who can stay there and get lucky, but Europe, I would not recommend Europe. I would recommend Canada, USA, Australia. These countries I prefer if you want to go for higher studies. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Now no more questions. Sir, so thank you very much. I would like to thank Dr. Nahire sir for taking out his time from his busy schedule and enlightening us with the knowledge. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. I would like to thank our principal, sir, for giving permission for organizing this seminar series. I would like to thank Jagtap, sir, for arranging such speakers. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all my students, all the participants who are present over here, because without them, it is not possible to conduct such seminars. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and a lot of students have asked question in the chat. I mean, of course, I couldn't answer those now.
Yes,
But if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn. You can just search my name, Rahul Nahire, and you will find my profile. I see there are a lot of questions in the chat, but I can answer them directly.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Sudhakar, sir.